this is Kristen Brown with MMArank.com, and I'm here with UFC's middleweight Chris Weidman. How are we doing today, Chris?
Doing pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning. We are at Optimus Gym in Garden City, and what are you doing today?
Doing some strength training here. Puts us through some strength, some cardio, beats us up a little bit, and then I'm off to Hofstra University to get my wrestling in at 3:30, and then a little mitt work tonight with Ray.
The wrestling with Terry Madden?
Terry Madden, actually, he got a job at West Point University.
Okay.
I went there last week, but I'm going to be wrestling with like the Hofstra wrestling team today, maybe some of the coaches, but not Terry Madden.
Okay. So I wanted to congratulate you. You were this year's #1 prospect for MMArank.com. How do you feel about that?
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah.
I'm happy about that, yeah.
So you actually would go on the website and check it out?
Yeah, I mean, I think last year I was in there somewhere. I was ranked. I think Phil Davis was #1.
Last year, yeah.
I mean, I think I fought a kid named Uriah Hall. He was on there when I was in the ring of combat, and it was kind of like, oh, two highly ranked, prospects, and you kind of got the rankings from MMArank.com, so it was pretty cool to see where you fit in and their description of you and stuff like that on that website.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Phil Davis, so when you were at Hofstra, you wrestled him, right?
Yes.
Okay.
I wrestled him there. Yeah, so I'm actually going to train with him next week. So
oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, going out to San Diego, so we can't talk about that match too much, but
all right, sorry.
It was good.
So do you do a lot of cross-training? Because, I mean, everyone knows you from the infamous Sarah Longo team, but you also train at Belmore Kickboxing and at Henzo's?
Yep, I was actually I wanted to make sure everybody knew. My lip got split open pretty bad yesterday, so if I sound a little weird. Okay. I was at Henzo Gracie's in the city, and I caught a nice headbutt to the lip, and so I feel like I'm talking a little weird, and it's weird to talk, but just so you guys know, I'm not a little slow.
I sound like a man right now because my niece got me sick.
Really?
Is Cassidy in your daughter is how old?
A year and a half. She's 19 months old, so I'm older than that. But.
Okay. So has she started daycare yet?
Well, my sister, I guess, is called daycare, and so we're lucky. We hired my sister, and she comes over to the house, or whatever, and she takes care of her. So.
Okay. But she hasn't gone into that like German festival.
No, we didn't have to do that yet. But my wife actually wants her to do that just to get used to being around other kids a lot and stuff like that. So eventually, I think we will switch in there a couple times a week, just so she gets used to that.
It's worse than the mats. Like it really is. It's like germ infested. My niece started, and she's been sick for like 2 weeks straight. So that's why I kind of sound like a man right now. So we both sound a little.
I can't wait to sound like you.
Oh, so how is your training camp going? Because we know, like in the past, you haven't had a full training camp for your first fight, your UFC debut. You only had 2.5 weeks notice for the Sakara fight.
Yeah.
But then for the Bonfeld fight, you had a full training camp, right?
It wasn't full. It was I think 7 weeks for me.
Okay.
It felt full. For like other UFC fighters who've been doing it for a while, it's not a full camp.
Okay.
But for me, it felt full. This camp is, I found out, I think like 14 weeks out, so this is a true training camp. And it's like I'm just doing a lot of learning, and now I've just been getting my weight off, and I feel pretty good. It's nice to be able to work on every aspect of the game and not have to like just worry about, I just gotta get in shape,
Right.
So I think it's gonna be a big help.
And you have your fight coming up with Tom Lawler. He's a really good wrestler, collegiate wrestler, BJJ guy. So I know you can't give out your game plan, but what are you looking to go in there? Can you say anything about the fight?
It's going to be a fun fight.
Yeah.
I think it's a great matchup. I think Joe So did a good job with it. It definitely has potential of being a really fun fight to watch. A fight at a night type fight, or early finish.
Maybe another sub in the night?
I would like that. So I'm always going to be looking for the subs.
Yeah.
It's definitely what I'm doing, and the knockouts. So I think he'll be doing the same. So it'll be an interesting fight.
Yeah. Are you excited for his entrance?
Am I excited for? I'm more excited for his weigh-in.
His weigh-in, I know, right?
I want to see what he's doing. What are you going to do to me for the weigh-ins? I don't know if I could really challenge him because he's pretty well versed in that. But
what are you going to do if he's wearing a thong? Are you going to look directly in his eyes?
If he's wearing a thong, I'm going to have to be butt naked. I mean, I can't let him beat me. No, I'm just kidding. Don't wear a thong though.
No, I think maybe for the walk-in you should do something. Like you should maybe have like Matt Serra on a leash, or maybe have him.
Have Matt. I mean, Matt wouldn't want to do that, but have Matt come out with a pizza pie or something like that.
Exactly.
He'd probably love that, but
like a bagel or like a thing of French bread. It'd be like a Jedi mind trick. He would not expect it.
Yeah, he wouldn't know what's going on.
Exactly.
He'd be in trouble.
Mm-hmm. So a lot of people, I mean, everyone knows you as the All-American, but you were just saying you might be changing your nickname.
Yeah, when I did like a Twitter thing for one of the UFCs. I was like on the UFC Twitter, and Brian Stan, I think they knocked out Jorge Santiago when I was doing that, and I was like, he was a great American, all this stuff, and they called me the All-American because I married my high school sweetheart, all that stuff, and I was All-American in college, and stuff like that. So I guess like my gym just started calling me the All-American before we knew about Brian Stan.
Right.
But I mean, the guy's a war vet. He's served our country. I don't want to have anything to do with taking the All-American name from him or whatever. I think he deserves it. So it's not like I was married to the name. I didn't really care too much about it. It was cool, but so I gave it up.
Okay. Well,
even though on every interview I do or everything I see on the internet, I'm still All-American.
All-American.
But I don't really care.
Yeah. So actually, what do you think about this whole new? A lot of the guys that people grew up watching are now like Matt Hughes just lost and Randy Couture retired, and now it's this whole next generation of fighters, and you're one of them. How does it make you feel? It's
awesome. I mean, they laid down the groundwork and showed us how to fight. I mean. So you're always going to be taking from them, no matter how old they get. They've done so much for the sport. So you have to really just support them. Even when they're losing now, it's like, oh, now Matt Hughes sucks. It's like, yo, listen, the guy's been competing forever. He's done so much for the sport. Same thing with Randy Couture, Chuck Liddell, all those guys. You can't do anything but say great things about them.
Right.
As a guy, you never want to stop competing. And so they're going to keep competing maybe past it when they really should stop. And of course they're going to put themselves out there where they could lose, but that doesn't mean you forget about what they've accomplished and how much they've done for the sport.
Right. Now you wanted to be an Olympic wrestler. When you were a little kid growing up, what did you actually want to be? Like growing up, you say, I want to be this.
Actually, I think in 6th grade or something they make you write what you want to do when you get older, and I wanted to be an NHL hockey player.
Really?
Yeah.
Did you play hockey?
Yeah, I did. I was awesome. I'm not gonna lie. I think I still have the record for most goals in my Bolton PA, which is roller hockey. And then we couldn't afford ice hockey. I did one camp during the summer. I did really well, but I broke my collarbone, and then we couldn't really afford the ice hockey back then.
Okay.
So I didn't really get into it, but I definitely wanted to be in the NHL.
Would you have been a ranger?
I'm not even gonna lie. I did this. So right after college,
it
was like train for Olympics, all this stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I gotta start playing hockey again. Let me see. I think I can beat these guys, like the Islanders. I'm like, I want to try out for the Islanders.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how that would work, but whatever. So I went into the store. I bought all the equipment, all my stuff again, and I started playing again. But it wasn't as good as I wanted to be.
It wasn't in the cards for you.
Oh man, it was a letdown. But I gave it a shot. I asked my wife. It was about 2 weeks worth of me playing hockey again, thinking I'm gonna be in the NHL. I'm like, but it didn't work out. I stopped. You'd be in Canada right now, like in the cold somewhere. Or you'd want to be an Islander or a Ranger? I would be an Islander, 100%. I mean, I'm a New York guy. Everyone has their teams that they like, Yankees, Giants, Jets, and stuff like that. The only team I ever really cared about growing up was the Islanders. That's what me, my father, my brother, my sister, whatever, my family would watch, the Islanders. We watched, the Yankees and Mets, whatever, but we weren't diehard. But the Islanders, we went to the games and stuff like that. So,
really?
Yeah.
Oh, do you still go?
No. After, I think it was 1999 or something like that, when Pierre Turgeon, they traded a bunch of good guys from the team. I kind of lost interest, and that's kind of when I stopped playing hockey, and then I started, playing football and wrestling and a lot more. And so I lost kind of interest. But. And a lot of people don't know that you were actually competing in Abu Dhabi. Yep. Which is amazing. Well, tell me a little bit about that. Well, I won my first 2 fights, and then I hurt my hand a little bit, so I wasn't gonna do or my knuckle or something like that. And so Ray said, I wasn't able to hit, so he was like, why don't you try out for this Abu Dhabi thing? This Abu Dhabi thing? Yeah, he has no idea. He's like, why don't you go in the wrestling tournament? He thinks it's a wrestling tournament. He doesn't know the difference between wrestling and jiu-jitsu. It's funny. So are you going to wrestle over at Matt State? I'm like, I'm not wrestling, I'm doing jiu-jitsu. It's like, there's a difference. But, so yeah, I went to the trials and I ended up doing well. I won the tournament. I submitted most of my guys, and then I went to Abu Dhabi. It was like 3 months later. I broke my hand right before the tournament. I was sparring because obviously I wanted to keep doing MMA. So I was doing that, but I still went to Spain, and I did pretty good. I was happy with my performance. I beat my first guy pretty good, and then second guy was a guy, Andre Galveo, who
great guy.
Won the absolute division and his weight class this year, which is awesome. He's an awesome talent, awesome jiu-jitsu guy, and we went to double overtime, and he beat me. But I did good. I had some nice chokes on him, and I was definitely offensive. But the point game and stuff like that, I didn't really totally understand.
Because you were only training for how long?
That was, I think, 7 months, 8 months
That's
of
insane.
jiu-jitsu or something like that. So I didn't have that much jiu-jitsu experience, but I did have great guys that I was training with. I was training with like the top black belts from Henzo's, from Matt Serra's.
John Danaher?
John Danaher at the time, yes, a little bit, but not. Yeah, I started training with him at that point. Now I've been training with John Danaher a lot, and it's ridiculous how much he's getting my game so much better. He you know, I have certain things that I'm good at, and he twists and turns them to make them even so much better. So he's been really helping me out a lot.
Great, that's awesome. Well, I cannot wait for your next fight. Thank you so much for talking with me.
Thank you.
And Chris Weidman, November 19th, MMArank.com, and you have to do your Twitter.
Follow me at Chris Weidman UFC on Twitter, or you could find me on Facebook, Chris Weidman. I think just type that in, you should find me.
Okay, thanks so much, guys.